Hey guys, if you're a tennis fan, tomorrow at Indian Wells is going to be incredible. You got some great matchups, and today we're going to breaking down Novak Djokovic versus Juan Del Potro. Both just amazing tennis players and some of my favorite players on the tour, so I'm really excited about this. Before we get into the match stats and break down everything, and then I ultimately give you my pick, and what's even more important than that, I want to hear your pick. Who do you think's going to win and why? So make sure you comment below that, below this video, and let's just start with this though. I thought that this was cool and a good way to start the video. The match point that they shared together down in Rio, where Del Potro literally broke Djokovic's heart here. But look at this. They come up. Look at the respect there. Very cool. You can see Djokovic giving him a lot of congrats, and Del Potro breaks down a little bit there. And what was interesting is right after that goes to show the class of Djokovic, because right after that, after he gives him that big congratulations, he leaves the court with tears in his eyes. And I think that just sums up how much tennis means to both these guys, to where they literally put their heart on the line every time they step on the court. You know you're going to get 100% effort from both of them. So I'm really excited for this matchup. Let's get into some of the stats here. So as we can see, Novak right now, number 2 in the world, and Del Potro is 35. And that's just crazy to me, because there's no way he's the number 35 best player in the world. But since he's had so many injuries and he's kind of always forced to take some time off, didn't play the Australian Open, his ranking is much lower than his skill. So anybody who meets him in a tournament is just like a nightmare. But Djokovic does have a 12-4 winning record, even though most of the time when they go out there and play, it's always so close. Djokovic 29, Del Potro 28. And what we're going to do is we're going to break down, just look at some of their last couple of matches here. They just had a complete battle. It was the first time they faced each other since the Olympics. And another great contested match where Djokovic lost the first set, but then won 6-4, 6-4. Some tremendous tennis there. You're going to notice that so many of their matches are very close. And, of course, the Olympic one, which was just such a great comeback for Del Potro. Really showed the world that, hey, he's back, he's feeling good, he's been through so much. His story is very inspirational. But we also did see, I want to show you this, they did play in 2013 at Indian Wells, and Del Potro has won there. So even though Novak's been so dominant at that tournament and has won it 5 times, he's won 3 times in a row, Del Potro has beaten him there. So I think that, I don't know if that really has any bearing on tomorrow, but you never know. It might give him some confidence. Both players certainly know that they can beat each other and that they can both be beaten. Let's just put it that way. Now what I want to do, though, and it'll be interesting to see what you guys think, because I think it's kind of hard to go through this, is what are the strengths and weaknesses of each player? We break down every shot individually. So the first thing we have is the serve, right? I mean, the serve is so important. We know that when you put that serve in play, and if you're serving well, the pros can win anywhere between 70 to 80% of their first serve points. So I think the first serve is going to be huge. You would think that Del Potro, with his size, you would give him the clear advantage on the quality of serve, but I'm not so sure, because Del Potro, I think if he hits one serve, can hit the ball harder than Djokovic. But Djokovic has really improved his serve over the last couple of years, particularly his second serve. And so this is going to be interesting to see, because I think for as tall as Del Potro is, he should have a bigger serve than he does. He's got a good serve, but I think his serve should be bigger than it actually is. But I think you have to give him the edge. But then we know that Novak is going to get the edge in the return department. So you give Del Potro the edge that he's got a better serve, especially if we're looking at the first serve. I think I almost want to give the second serve advantage to Djokovic, especially if you've been watching, he's got a really, really nice second serve kick that can go way off the court. He's worked really hard on that. I don't know if Del Potro necessarily has a very good second serve, but I'm going to give him the edge overall because I think he can win more free points off of his first serve, but then you've got Djokovic's return to counterbalance that. So it's almost a wash, but I'm going to give Del Potro the slight edge there on the serve and return game. Then if we take a look at the forehand, you have to give Del Potro the edge for sure because he has maybe the most lethal forehand we've ever seen. He can absolutely crush a winner out of nowhere. And I think that this is going to be a big advantage for him in that he can crush a winner out of nowhere. And Djokovic lately seems like he's having a harder time hitting through the court and getting free points off of his forehand. His forehand is rock solid. It's very consistent. It can move people around the court. But it seems like he's not having that knockout punch on his forehand. And so this is going to be a big part of the match is can Djokovic maneuver Del Potro around the court to where he can kind of, stay away from that forehand as much as possible. Because if it's going to be a lot of shots decide on the forehand, if Del Potro can keep dominating, keep running around his backhand and find his forehand, then you almost have to say that it's going to be a great day out there for Del Potro. If we look at the backhand, this is what was unfortunate about Del Potro and all his injuries. Del Potro, I don't know if everybody remembers out there, he actually has a great two-handed backhand, or he had a great two-handed backhand. He could club that thing and he could hit winners down the line. But since his wrist injury, whether it's actual that it hurts him or he's just lost confidence to really go for it, you're not going to see him really club the ball in the backhand. He's going to, when he comes over the ball with his two hands, you're going to see him more massage his shots. He's not going to really go for it. You're not going to see winners flying down the line. Where Djokovic can hit winners on his backhand, he can force the issue. And so it's a lot more solid shot where Del Potro is going to be more slicing the ball and massaging the ball around the court, looking to get the ball on his forehand side. So we'll see if Djokovic can get into some backhand-to-backhand rallies and then occasionally maybe go for winners up the line. That's going to also weigh in Djokovic's favor. But I do notice lately again that Djokovic does not seem to be going for as many winners. I don't see as many down the line winners lately from Djokovic that I'm used to seeing where he can flatten that ball out. He tends to be putting a lot of air under his balls on both sides, heavy spin on the forehand backhand, and more relying on his defense. So that's where we go next to who's going to have the advantage on court coverage and defense, and this is where it may come down to just pretty much offense versus defense. Can Djokovic, since he's not going to be hitting as many winners against Del Potro, can Djokovic defend well enough to where he eventually gets Del Potro to miss? I think that's what it's going to come down to. It's pretty much going to be an offense versus defensive battle, and who's going to win out there. And ultimately that will come down to who's going to be more mentally tough. And I think in the past, you'd have to give that to Djokovic because I think he just got so disciplined and so much in the zone, and you can see it in his eyes when he's really, really zoned in on the game. And, it's led to some of the greatest years ever on tour. But lately, he has struggled with his confidence. He has not been the most confident player out there. He's a little vulnerable in that aspect. People are wondering, how dedicated he is to the game. I think he really wants to make a comeback. I think he is dedicated. I think he's focused, but I think his confidence is a little off. And Del Potro, he's got to be so mentally tough to basically be coming back from all his injuries and playing with basically just a pretty good serve and an amazing forehand. He's not the fastest guy around the court. He doesn't have the best backhand anymore because of his injury. So he pretty much just goes out there and dominates with his forehand. That goes to show how amazing his forehand is. So it's almost like Del Potro's forehand versus everything else, and his serve versus everything else that Djokovic has. Offense versus defense. Who wins? This is such a close pick, guys. I almost don't even know. It could go either way. But I think since Djokovic has a little more variety in his game, and Del Potro has not been able to play as many matches as he'd probably like to play, I'm going to give the edge to Djokovic. It's either going to be two extremely close sets, like 7-5 or 7-6 sets, or some kind of score like 6-3, 6-4, 7-5 in the third set. It's either going to go 3 sets or 2 very, very tight sets. I'm going to give Djokovic the edge. I think he does want to prove that he is coming back and can get the #1 ranking again. He's going to have to play amazing defensively, and I'd also like to see him flatten out more balls, but I just don't know if he's going to do that right now. It doesn't seem like he's looking to do that lately. But I will pick Djokovic. Let me know what you guys think. It's going to be a great match. 2 awesome competitors, 2 awesome guys. Be happy for either of them. If you like this analysis, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment below. We certainly want to know your picks. Oh yeah, guys, one more thing before you go. I actually have a free training for you that's going to help you win your next grudge match. It's how Federer finally beat Nadal. It's nothing against Nadal. I love Nadal too. Federer is my favorite, by the way. But it's 5 reasons why Federer finally beat Nadal, and it's also kind of teaches you how you can go out and win your next match. If there's somebody who you just can't quite get over the hurdle with, they always get the best of you. This is something that you can kind of learn. Little changes Roger made to finally get over that hurdle. So you can basically click on this video and get instant access to that. If you're on your mobile phone, it should be up here in the corner. Otherwise, I'll put an annotation in there. And again, thanks so much for watching today's video, guys.